You'll get an invitation to LendingPad from us. The invitation will actually come directly from LendingPad. So it's not going to come from like an Obsidian email address. So, once I let you know that I sent it, just check your spam mail and, make sure it's not your spam or whatever.
Okay.
But, once you get that, you're always going to come to prod.lendingpad.com. That's the actual production website for LendingPad. And then it automatically recognizes you based on your email address under which tenant you should be within LendingPad.
Okay.
All right. All right. Hang on a second here.
It's kind of like Encompass too. That's how slow. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually a lot faster than Encompass. Have you ever used it?
Yeah, Encompass is, oh my God. Yeah, dirt slow. And of course, it's making a liar out of JC because it's running slow.
Yeah, I know. It's exactly like Encompass, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same experience. It's like, yeah, it just sits there and churns and churns.
I think it's because you have like 1,000 tabs open up there, Andre.
Yeah, I also got 32 gig of RAM in this baby, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, I live with all those tabs open, believe it or not. Let me do a
Gotcha.
Control F5. Let me clear the cache on this thing and see if that helps. Sometimes it's that. Yeah. All right. So let's go back in here. Yeah, and literally this whole thing is web-based, so you can pretty much get to it from anywhere. But the only browsers that it actually works in are Chrome, and if you use a Mac, it works well in Safari.
Okay.
All right. So when you first log in, you're going to automatically see this dashboard right here. For you, everything is going to be in a processing status because you're only going to see loans, obviously, that we've assigned to you that are processing. And then, all of this stuff tells you just the status, TRID status is on different milestones in there. So let's see here. I'm going to go into the pipeline. And everything here is tab driven. So I'll show you that here in a minute, but you don't really have to pay much attention to the tab. To the dashboard. You're going to come in here to the pipeline, and I am going to filter everything by status here. So you actually, on the right-hand side of the screen here, you'll have filters, and you can actually filter the loans, all of the loans in your pipeline by status.
Okay.
So I'm logged in as the system admin, so I get everybody's loans. But I want to show you the loans in processing. All right. So let's pick a good one here. We'll pick Patrick's. I think he's got a good one. All right. So when you first come into the loan, you'll see that everything is broken down, like I said, by tabs.
Okay.
And you'll see these tabs across the top. The overview just really gives you sort of a summary of all of the different tabs, the most important information on the tab, like, what loan program it is, LTV, DTI, all of that kind of stuff. But the primary tabs as a processor that you're really going to be involved with are going to be the loan application tab, which is actually the 1003. And you'll notice when you open that it actually follows the 1003 exactly as you scroll down. And then across the top, the sub-tabs do as well.
Okay.
Okay, so, you got all your borrower info here. Then if you come here, you've got your assets and your liabilities. You've got your REO tab. You've got your loan and property. You've got your declarations. And you've got your demographics.
Okay.
So all of that follows exactly like it does in there. So mostly everything that you're going to look for in the loan application is going to be under this loan applications tab if you're looking for anything related to the actual application of the 1003. The other thing that you want to pay attention to also is going to be the documents tab. So this is not a good loan. Let me find one.
Yeah, he hasn't even run credit on that one.
Yeah,
I
he
just
hasn't
noticed.
done, yeah, he
Or
hasn't done
deleted.
anything in there, it looks like.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's
see here.
try. This is a pre-qual. Jennifer, how's this one?
Jocelyn, I don't know. I really don't know. There's so many that we submit, especially for Jennifer. I don't know.
Let's look at one that's let's look at clear to closes. Maybe there's more stuff there that we can actually go through and show a whole thing here. Actually, you know what? Let's go to application taken. See if there's anything in here. If there's any of these, I recognize the names. Okay, here's a Fausto one. Hopefully that one's pretty decent. Let's see.
Nope, nothing in there. Why don't you go to trying to think of one here that actually one of mine maybe. How about I can't even think of his name.
Let me try. Oh,
Trevino?
Trevino? How you
Yeah, that
spell
one's
it?
it's about to come out of for clear to close. Hopefully, that's the plan at least.
All right, let's see if that's got anything in there.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much
Randy?
Yep. Go to the condition submission one.
All right,
Condition
perfect.
submission. Yeah. This is my file, by the way, Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, this is the summary. You'll see all the information is more information populated in this one. If you come over here all the way to the right, it'll tell you who the assignments are. So it'll basically tell you who the loan officer is. Normally in the loan assistant field right here, we would put who the account executive is. So that's really kind of who you deal with in respect to issues with the loan, especially if you're having problems with the loan officer getting stuff done, or, there's questions around, the processing, where you're having problems with loan officers not being responsive or whatever. And then here, as you notice in the documents, everything is broken down into buckets. So this is where you would go and find all of your different docs. They're all in PDF format. You can either view the document just by clicking on it, or if you need to see additional information, these little blue boxes everywhere allow you to kind of like blow up the view of the form that you're in.
Okay.
So like for docs, if I want to preview a doc, I can click on that blue button. It'll show me their ID card. It'll show me the date that it was put into the file. If you click on finalize here, it actually sets aging on the document. So if this was like a credit report that was going to expire in 60 days and I click this finalize button, it would look at this effective date and it would start counting down the expiration of that document. So periodically, like when you're in here, you'll see these little numbers here at the top. And if it's in red here, it's going to tell you that that document has expired. So you can set those around bank statements. You can set those around credit reports. A lot of the LOs don't use them, but a lot of the processors like to use them just so that they know when something's supposed to expire or not in the file, and they can look at that without having to go in there. So yeah, everything is broken down by these buckets, and the LO should be putting everything in the buckets and then giving it the proper name.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make sure that, obviously the format should be, borrower first name, last name, document type, the month and date. If it's a bank statement, it should say what the bank is, like Chase or whatever, and then the actual month and date of the document.
Okay.
So this is where you're going to find all your documents. And then this is where this pane right over here is where you will see all of the underwriting conditions. So as you can see, this one right here has 21 prior to closing conditions that have not cleared. And if you open those up, you can see what each one actually is. Again, we have the edit. We have the edit buttons here that shows you who's responsible for it.
Okay.
And then you'll see the notes regarding what needs to happen on it. And normally, you know, once something clears and you check it, it'll move over into the green column.
Is there a
So
way to
that,
get-
go ahead.
Go ahead. Is there a way to get documents into LendingPet?
Yes. Yes. So if you have to get documents in, you would come here and you have the add new documents option. And if you click on that, documents always have to be PDF, by the way. That's the only thing it'll take. And like, you know, when I go to add the PDF, it gives me the option of putting it in the whatever bucket it needs to go into, setting the effective date and everything, and then uploading it. So normally what happens is, like, for processing, when you go to the LO and you tell the LO, hey, I've got a bunch of documents that are missing, they'll put those in unassigned underwriter conditions for you to review, so that, you know, that way we're not putting them in buckets where you're not going to know to go look that something's been updated.
Okay.
So they will put everything that is missing in the unassigned underwriter conditions bucket.
Okay.
All right. So, you know, like I said, the loan application, the documents, those are going to be the most important ones to you. Obviously, the disclosures. You can go in here, you can preview the loan estimate. You can look at the fee worksheet. You can actually go through here and make sure that all the fees are correct. And again, as you look at it, you'll see this is fully editable.
Okay.
So you can either edit the whole thing, or you can edit it by section, in case you need to modify anything on there. And you've got other functions here, like calculating the cash to close, transaction summaries. All of that information is under the disclosures tab. Make sense so far?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So then any actions that you need to do from the processing perspective are located under the actions tab.
Okay.
So this is where you do your title. We have title integration built in here. So, you know, normally, like, there'll be notes over here in the notes column for you. Like JC did a really great job here. You can see he put all these notes in here.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, if there's another title company and they don't want to use title integration, they'll put the title company here in the notes section.
Okay.
If there is no company in there, all you have to do is click the send button here. It's going to tell you what the title company is. And then here, when you click on these, you can actually pick the request types.
Okay.
See, like when I click on, see, I just added that, and I can make multiple requests.
Okay.
So the system's really intuitive that way. It really does, you know, guide you through a lot of this stuff. You know, I can pick the property type here, obviously, and the transaction type, and then that will submit that directly to First American Mortgage.
Okay.
All right. We also have Latitude, but we use First American Mortgage for just about everything.
Okay.
Your AUS findings. So like when AUS is ran, we generally have our LOs run AUS before they submit to processing.
Okay.
And if you need to go in and look at that, you just click on the view button here. We make our LOs run both. In this case, it's FHA, so we only had to do DU. But normally, under any other circumstance, if it's just a straight conventional, they have to do both DU and LP, because the underwriter's going to look at whichever findings are most favorable, and that's what she's going to wind up using.
Okay.
But if you click on these down arrow right here, you'll see that the findings are actually in a PDF format. So you can actually click on that. It'll open it in a tab. You can download that, and then you can go through this as well. So if there's other information that you need or to figure out why something's, not eligible or whatever, or any other conditions that need to be done, we always tell the LOs to review it, whether you get an approved eligible or not.
Okay.
So they should be reviewing this. And then this is also where you send your disclosures from. So our LOs do not disclose. Initially, what happens is we have a processor named Jan Hiller. So Jan actually acts as kind of like a file scrubber. So the files go to her first. She'll always send out the LE, and then she'll assign a processor to the file after she's reviewed the file. So she's really kind of that first line of defense to make sure that the file at least looks halfway decent before she submits it to you.
Okay.
And so she'll do the LE, obviously, and then, from that point on, she's not involved anymore, and then it's just strictly you doing all of this. We just integrated, well, as a matter of fact, as we're speaking, we are integrating the fraud guard and everything else as well.
Okay.
These ones that say they're inactive are inactive. We haven't integrated them, so for the most part, you can ignore those.
Hey, Andre, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we want to have Jan actually send out the disclosures? Because I mean, one of the huge benefits of going over here to Top Shelf Processing is that they're very quick. I worked with Lisa before, and typically when I do a submission over to Lisa, she'll get out disclosures probably within the first 5-6 hours or so. I mean, it's that same day.
Yeah.
So,
Jan
takes 2-3 days to get disclosures out.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I mean, if they don't have a problem with that, really the real reason behind her sending out the LE and everything was she was doing the file scrub. So she was just making sure, because again, like I said, like you said, it might be 3 days before she sends the file they're processing, but the LE needs to go out right away.
So this is the deal. This is how Top Shelf is set up. So when a loan officer is ready to submit a file over to processing to get disclosures out, there is a submission form that Top Shelf Processing has on their website where the loan officer will fill out that submission form with all the details of the loan and everything. And then it gets sent over to Top Shelf Processing for Lisa, whoever's over there, for example. And then they'll accept the file and get it moving to get disclosures out. So if we, specifically send this over to Jan, and then Jan sits on it for 2 or 3 days, and and then Jan's going to have to fill out that submission form that's going to go to Top Shelf Processing as well.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Sorry to interrupt you guys. We have a submission form that we've been making LOs fill out now under our print form setting. So first of all, is it possible to get a copy of the Top Shelf form so we can add it to LendingPad? So they can just do that right here? See, because we have a loan submission form that basically, I don't know if you ever saw this before, JC, or not, but it was something I added a couple of months ago.
You're like, I don't know if you ever saw this because you never use it.
No. A lot of people don't know it's there. And, it's like I added that and I added a processing cover sheet as well. But this would be how theirs would work.
Yeah.
So we would put it in there, and then you would just turn off or turn on all these buttons, and then they could just go in there and they'll get the actual form. So if theirs is different than that, we can have LendingPad put their form in here, and then we'll just do their submission form and then just submit it directly to them.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that is on our website for the submission form. I'm not computer savvy enough to.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to use ours or if you want to use.
Yeah, we have the one that we have is specific to what the information that we need to do disclosures and everything.
Okay.
And it sends it directly to Jana's spreadsheet, so that way we can keep a list of everything going on our site.
Got it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to throw a wrench in there for you, Andre, but I know that would be not productive. I don't know if that's what I'm looking for, to send it to
Yeah.
Jan, and then Jan send
No,
it over
because
to them.
Jan's not gonna fill out submission sheets.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
not.
and that's part of what we do too at Top Shelf. We go through and scrub the 1003 and make
Right,
sure all of
exactly.
the
Okay.
information is in there and that all the documents that we need are there. So
Awesome. All right, so we'll skip that step. So we'll just leave Jan out of there. So it'll just be assigned to you as the processor at that point. So what they will do is they will come in here to assignments, and they are going to come here to loan processor. They're going to pick you from the list and assign you. And then once they do that, they push this processing button. And once they do that, then you'll get an email notification that the file's been submitted to you for processing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's, is that going to be, okay, no, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm sorry. I thought I had a question, but I didn't. Never mind. I'm good. All right.
Okay. Yeah, and then all of these other things like VOE and all of that stuff, all of that's integrated in here. We also do have e-sign.
Oh.
So once you send the disclosures out, and they come back in, they will actually come in here and you'll be able to actually see what was sent back and signed. If you have a document that's out, it will show here as well that it's out. And if you want to check status on it, if you click the check status button, it'll actually go out to DocuSign and see if the document has been signed by all the parties. And if it has, it'll pull the document in for you.
Okay. Is that only for disclosures or can you?
It's-
send other
it's-
things?
No, it's for any form that we have that's in here. So when you go into print forms and you click on send,
Ah.
you'll see that we have, you can either send a package, right? Or you can send singular forms. And then you'll see here that all you have to do is check the ones that you want to send. We even have the Earl in Spanish up there. And then you just, if you're just sending it to them as a matter of record for them to have it, you just do send document. If you need an e-sign, you just click on the e-sign document button.
Okay.
Yeah, everything else I have will
Perfect.
hopefully her.
That's
Yep.
key.
Yeah, and then if you got packages, you just click on the package, and here it'll tell you exactly what the package is.
Okay.
See how this changed? And we have our disclosure package.
Awesome. Okay.
That's the general disclosures. You should read disclosed in your underwriting. And then you would just do an e-sign here.
Okay.
All right. And then it tells you every document that's in there.
Nice.
The only one that I don't think is in here is the COVID notice.
Ah.
Yeah, but it is in the custom print form section.
Okay.
It's just down here under our client specific forms. There it is.
Okay.
So. Yeah, and then all of these other things are pretty much self-explanatory. Schedule to close, send to the lock disk, undo submit, request to withdraw, request incomplete, request to not accepted. These are all just send functions, all under the actions tab. So you would deal with those essentially exactly the same way. Right now, as far as locking and rates and all that, we are doing that outside of Lending Pad. We actually completed the paperwork for the integration to be done, but you know, you'll see the lock request here and the dates and everything
Okay.
of when the lock will expire. Like this one is 0705.
Okay.
So you'll always know if the lock is getting ready to expire, if this is, you know, a rush or if we need to get more time or whatever to get things done. But that's really just the general 100,000 view of this, you know, foot view of this is just the loan application. Again, the actions, your documents, and your underwriting conditions here are what you're going to deal with the most, you know, from the processing point of view.
Okay.
And, you know, I want to obviously get you access as quickly as possible so you can go in here and look at a couple of files and look at the actions. You know, it doesn't send anything when you click on an action automatically. So if you want to see what the options are under each one, if you click on send, it's always going to give you the option of what it's going to do before you actually send it.
Okay. Yeah, that
So
would be great if I could get in there and just kind of.
yeah, you want to get in there and play around and stuff. If you have questions, you'll see there's this little chat box down here.
Okay.
So, you know, if you open that actually opens up the Lending Pad support, and they'll chat with you on the support line. If you have any questions, we also have under the support line here, we have a knowledge base. So if there's questions that you need to ask about processing, if you type in like processing, for example, it's going to give you a whole list of different articles.
Okay.
You know, like if you like a question you might have is how to add vendors. You know, how to add integrated, you know, how to add vendors to there, something like that as a processor. You know, you might need to add another title company or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of that is covered in here, and these are literally step throughs. So when you click on them, it's either going to be a video, guide where you can watch a video on it, or it's going to actually just tell you step by step what you need to do.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep. And then the only other thing, what else did we have here?
What about ordering appraisals, Andre?
Yeah, so we have appraisal integration in here as well. Oops. So it's right there, right? And we have like a bunch of different appraisal companies that you can send the appraisal directly, the appraisal request directly to, but we don't always wind up using these folks because sometimes the appraisal times are just too lengthy, and we can contact somebody locally there and get an appraiser out quicker.
Okay.
Just by calling directly.
Okay.
But you know, this is an option that you have. We use Appraisal Nation in here, as you can see.
Okay.
So you can do all your orders and everything directly through them.
Oh, okay.
And then here's your options, you know, bill the borrower, send a copy to the borrower, report completed, etc. We always get a credit card authorization. This is important to note. We get a credit card authorization that's stored under the documents here. So basically, like if you need to do the appraisal, or, you know, there's any other costs associated with the loan, you could just contact the borrower and say, hey, you know, we're getting ready to order the appraisal. It's blah, blah, blah. It's going to be this much. Can we go ahead and charge it to the credit card? And then you can just use the credit card authorization we have on file.
Okay.
To charge it. And that's with any other fees related. When we send that out, it tells them, you know, that this is basically for any fees related to the loan, not just your credit report and stuff.
Okay.
So, and we use Credit Plus for credit. So if we ever have to order supplements or anything like that, we can definitely help out with that as well. Our credit is integrated. So basically when you go into the credit report, there's other options. You know, you can reissue, you can get a status query, a refresh, or an upgrade. Again, the credit card information, if you slide this little slider over here at the top, that turns on the credit card. So if you have to order something else, you can just use that credit card authorization that they give you, put their credit card information in here, and then just send the request. And that'll automatically go out to Credit Plus and order that for you.
Nice. Okay. As far as for like ordering insurance or payoffs, do you do that through Lending Pad also, or?
For you talking about for like hazard insurance? Yeah, we don't have that built in here right now.
Okay. Do you
I mean, you
have,
can put in, yeah, we don't have any of the vendors in there, so you can actually send the request from here by just putting in the person's email address and stuff.
okay,
And, you know, you can pick the property, it'll automatically populate the property information, so you can request it here, but you can actually, you know, get the payment and everything else. We usually have the borrower do all that.
oh, okay. Are there like VOE forms or anything
Yeah.
like that?
Yep, you have the VOE here,
Okay.
so you can request that as well via email.
Okay,
A lot of the folks use that work, what is it called? Work,
the work number.
yeah, work number, yeah. So that unfortunately we don't have integrated in here, but they usually provide us the information with the number to call and everything else. So, yeah, and then here's your verbal.
Oh, okay.
So you can either send that, you know, as an email, or you can basically save it and it'll automatically create a bucket for it over here in the loan documents.
Okay,
Yeah, this has already been added to the 1003.
So what else? What else? Oh, flood. That's being integrated as well as the fraud guard. So we have fraud guard in here now as well. Basically anything that's functional here where you see the send and there's not an action is inactive, you can actually use in here.
Just so they know, it's already been done and he doesn't need to go around and say, oh, don't do this, don't do this. We'll look at this report last week.
So what else?
I can't think of anything right now.
All of this stuff is editable too, so you can go into each of these with the edit. Once the loan, just so you know, once the loan is submitted to processing, all of these buttons go away for the loan officer, so they can't do anything with the loan. So once you have it, if you go back to them and you say, you know, I need you to do this, this, and this, or the 1003 is not complete, I need you to complete this, you have to send the loan back to them, take it out of processing status. Otherwise, they can't edit it. They can't send any do any actions or anything.
Okay, kind of like the Waypoint was.
Yep. It also blocks the it also blocks the borrower in the point of sale. They can't go in there and edit things or add things either, upload documents or anything.
Oh, so the borrowers have access to this also?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, they do through our point of sale. So we have an integrated point of sale. So every loan officer has their own unique link to it. Yeah, see, this is the point of sale link.
That's cool.
And yeah, and that allows the borrower to actually log in and it's probably gonna kick me out. Yeah, it kicks me out because it knows I'm already logged in. But anyway, yeah, it takes them to this website. They can set up an account. They can upload docs. They can see the status of their loan. They can make changes if they need to.
Okay.
All that
So,
good stuff.
As far as asking for like condition documents, do they upload those through Obsidian also, or?
Yeah, we want them to upload them directly. We don't like using email for anything. Not for PII, you know, because, you know,
Yeah.
you never know.
Hey,
You know,
Andre, hey,
Yes,
show
sir.
me real quick through Lending Pad where, like, for example, let's say that that I took the application over the phone, right? I didn't send them the link. Where is that? Where is the integration in there for them to upload docs into the application without using the link?
They can't. They have to have the link. So if you took the application for them,
Yeah.
if you took the application for them, here, I'll go in the
Mhm.
loan and show you real fast here. Hang on.
Okay. Because if they go in there, they have to fill out the application and then upload docs, right?
They have to fill out the application and then they have access to the docs. But if you do the application for them and you come here
Correct.
under actions,
Yeah.
See that invite consumer?
Yep.
That'll actually send them an email invitation. So you can go in, put everything in
Okay.
for them, and then invite them, and then
Nice.
they'll get an
Okay.
invitation to set up the POS link.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know where that was at for some reason. I couldn't find it, but
Yeah.
that helps out. Yep, that's awesome.
Yep. Now the other question I guess we have, Lisa and JC, you probably know this too, is obviously when we're doing non-delegated or wholesale loans, normally if they're wholesale, the loan officer decides if they want to have a processor process and do all the work for them or not, which includes exporting the file, grabbing all the docs, getting everything, uploading it into the wholesaler portal. Or if it's non-del, it's the same situation. First of all, is there an extra charge for that, or is the price the same for that? And I guess we would need to get you guys access to those non-delegated investors.
Yeah, we usually, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding how your system is working. So all of this stuff that you have on LendingPad as far as this goes, it's strictly for Obsidian, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So we're not used to working with just one lender. We work with so many, UWM and PRMG, and so yeah, we're used to going in and uploading the
Directly into the
3.2
investor
file.
portal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with us, basically what would happen is you would come here, you would do the export. That's going to give you the 3.4 format to export. And then the only issue with the documents is when you actually come in here to export documents. Because unfortunately with us, we have to start the loan in here. Everything gets started in here. And then once the loan completes, we have to re-upload the loan here for compliance reasons.
Right.
So that usually, unless, the person goes out and they want to do everything with the wholesaler to save money themselves, they'll do all of that work themselves. But in the case of non-delegated, which we're pushing more of our people to do non-delegated if they can't get delegated loans, that's going to be on you guys to send to the underwriter, have them underwrite it, and then everything needs to come back in here.
Okay.
So I'm not sure specifically if that's, if that's something that you guys are used to doing.
Well, we had all kinds of rules when we used the point files, so I can learn whatever I need to learn.
Yeah, because here you would, again, like I said, you come to actions, you would export the loan. When you come to the document section, you would go to document operations. And the problem with document operations is on the download, if you select all, when it downloads them all, it's just going to create one big PDF with all the docs in there.
Okay.
And they won't take them that way. So literally with us, you have to click on each document one at a time, click download, click a document, click download to keep them all separated so that way when they're uploaded to the investors portal, they're all separate docs. I wish it made a zip file, but it doesn't. Just, yeah.
Okay, so as far as communicating with the borrowers, am I going to be doing that through LendingPad as far as just like a welcome email or regular?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's
so
what
Lisa,
I think that's what JC wants.
Well, no, that's not just what I want. Believe me.
Well, I mean, it's what everybody wants.
So, like how you used to do it before when I was over at Nexa, you used to send out that welcome email in regards to like the docs and all that stuff that still needed, like conditional approval docs, right? Or like, for example, once you send out, I think from what I can remember, I've been over here at Obsidian, so we do things a little differently now. So, but it's refreshing on what you do, that's for sure. Because what they do over there, Andre, just so you know, is that when they send out the disclosures, but then when also Lisa does, they'll send out an email, welcome email, and say, hey, I'm Lisa with Top Shelf Processing. I'm JC's processor. I'm here to assist you and help you. We're going to start gathering documentations and getting your loan from A to Z very quickly. please reach out to me if you have any questions, that type of thing. Now, again, I'm sure it doesn't say it exactly like that, Lisa, but it's something like that, right? So kind of, okay, cool. So, but anyway, so this is the cool thing, Andre. They actually have communication with the borrower.
That's
So-
awesome. Yeah, which we want,
Yeah.
which we totally,
Uh,
totally want.
I don't
Yeah.
know how you can do your job with a process as a processor and not have communication.
I don't know either. I do not know either.
Well, I mean, the answer is you can't.
Yeah,
And you don't, and that's why we have the problems that we have, which is why we're so happy that we got you guys on board. So let me ask you this, Lisa, because full disclosure, we were talking to Ray. Ray was like, well, there's certain conditions and certain things that they put out there that, I guess he wants to understand what that red line in the sand is so that we can really, as AEs, make sure that our loan officers, when they're submitting files to you guys, because you do more than our processors and stuff, aren't, just basically saying, I'm going to hand this over to the processor so they can do it. Because I don't feel like being bothered. I want to move on to this next loan or something like that. So, obviously we want to make sure that we're telling the loan officers, if you're going to use Top Shelf, this is the expectation of what you're responsible for, and this is the expectation of what the processor is willing to do for you or is going to do for you.
right. Well, and I know that Jonathan Albert does a kind of a brief thing, making sure that the 1003 is complete and making sure we have all of the documents we need for a full submission. But I can definitely do a more in-depth list, I guess, of stuff that we actually do and stuff that we don't do.
Yeah, because when you tell people, we'll talk to your borrower and get documents, they're like, okay, I got the ID card. Let me
Right.
persist the processing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if you guys have a list of stuff that the loan officers are supposed to have as far as documentation for your submission.
Sure. So what we do, Lisa, just so you know, and this is every single loan officer when we submit a file, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I mean, every loan officer has to do this no matter how you slice it or dice it. I don't know one loan officer that doesn't. So we have to be able to pre-approve somebody, right? So we need to get the traditional docs. They're super easy to get. Every single loan officer, there's no reason why they can't do this. They can get 2 years of W-2s. They can get the most recent 30-day pay stub. They can get 2 months bank statements. They can get a driver's license. They can get a social security card. And then that's the initial docs. That's what I tell every single loan officer, get that, and then submit. We're going to submit over to Top Shelf Processing. Lisa is going to go ahead and work with the underwriter to get the conditional approval items that we need to get in, and then she's going to be working with the borrower as well too, if they have questions, and getting those docs in to get this loan down to the finish line with the underwriter. Okay, so that's really it. That's the game plan. I mean, if it's a different game plan, let us know.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it should be. But you'd be surprised how many loan officers don't get.
Yeah, we get that too. And we even have them send a checklist to the borrower when they first send that welcome email with the point of sale link. We send them a checklist that's specific to the type of loan that they're doing, whether it's, refinance or whatever, that says, here's the documents that we're going to need, up front, and that gives them a little bit of time to get stuff together while we're, getting everything ready for processing. But it's like you said, it's just amazing how many people like upload one tax return or something like that, or
Yeah.
the first page of a 1040,
Or no
and say,
purchase contract for a purchase.
or no purchase contract, for a purchase, and then submit it,
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it happens a lot, unfortunately. That's really the big problem. And even the experienced LOs are,
Sure.
I think with loan officers, it's it's always about how much can I get away with,
Yeah.
and once they see that a processor allows them to get away with stuff, then it's just off to the races. That's the consistent level of stuff you get from them.
Yeah.
Well, as long as I have all my documents, and I'm gonna let them know up front, if I don't have everything that I need to disclose this loan, then it's not getting disclosed.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as I understand that too. I had a question on the tip of my tongue and I've completely forgot what it was.
Yeah, and just so while you're thinking about it, we have 3 underwriters here at the company, Holly is the main one. She's been with, Ray for probably about 35 years now. Um, in that capacity and everything else. I think, Holly's a good underwriter. Um, but she takes on a lot. She's pretty overwhelmed, just because she's a very hands-on type of person. Um, and sometimes, she overthinks. I mean, I guess that's the best way to describe it. Um, you know, there's stuff that like Quicken would pass that she wouldn't pass or whatever. So it's really important, I mean, obviously, she owns the other half of the processing company. So we want to make sure that you guys have a good working relationship. And obviously, I think that she's professional enough that, she's not gonna, nickel and dime you guys just because she considers you guys competition or whatever at any given point. It's just a very delicate balance. And I think that was one of the things that Ray was just a little bit concerned about. But I just want to make sure that at some point or another, JC, I guess we need to um, have maybe the team there talk to Holly and get her expectations as well. Until we
Okay.
have an underwriter or whatever.
I think that's a conversation maybe with Ray first, right?
Yeah, I
mean-
think so. I mean, it's got to happen because once we get Lisa set up, she's going to start submitting files.
Yeah. Correct.
And then we're going to have Holly be like, "Who's Lisa?" Yeah, who's this person? And everything else. So yeah, it is one we have to have. But my goal is to get credentials out. Here shortly after this call.
Yeah.
And get Lisa going so she can start working on some of the files that we have, and obviously getting, some of the LOs I already have talked to that are like, yeah, as soon as she's on board, let's go.
We're gonna load you up, Lisa, like you've never seen before.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you. I mean, we, one of the main reasons was that we want top shelf processing is we just want a better processing, right? A better flow, a better support processing team, if you will. And there's actually, it's funny. It was one of our branch managers we just hired on in Tennessee. He worked over at Nexa as well too, and I told him about the processing with you guys and stuff like that, how you guys used to be over at Next. And he was like, he got super excited because he knows how you guys worked, and had the communication. And I know it's going to be a learning curve here with LendingPad and stuff. And that's definitely expected. It really is, it might take, maybe a week to get used to it and stuff like that. So, but I think as we get in our groove and stuff, I think it's going to be a good marriage for sure. And get us to, where we need to be at as far as the quickness to files. But I think also offloading, because, our processing currently right now, right, Andre? I mean, they're pretty overloaded.
They are. They won't ever admit it, but they are.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get it done. We're going to get it done.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm going to send your invite right now. Lisa, what's your email address? It's just Lisa.
It's L Allen.
L Allen. ALLE or ALLA?
ALLEN.
EN at
Top Shelf Processing.
I'm going to give you both roles. I'm going to give you the processing. I'm just trying to figure out, are there other roles that we should give you as well? Loan processor manager, all branches, and I'm going to give you loan processor as well. All right. You should get that in your inbox here in the next couple of seconds.
Yep, I just received it.
Ah, perfect. So you just go in, you set up your password and everything else, and then you're off to the races.
Okay,
I don't think I need to assign you. Yeah, you're assigned to all, so you'll see everything,
okay,
you know, and then people will see you listed under there as a loan processor when they add you in. So we
okay.
just need to let the folks know. And for now, you're going to be the single processor for us, right?
Yes,
Okay.
for now.
For now, yeah, yeah. As soon as we start getting a little bit more action going here, we're looking at getting another underwriter as well. So pretty soon we'll have an in-house underwriter that you'll probably work with
Okay,
as well. So just got to get to the next level here. We've got 10 other states adding in.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully you guys are pursuing getting licensed everywhere.
Yeah, well, it is an expensive endeavor, so we're taking
Yeah, I
it
know,
easy.
right? Yeah, it's crazy. Getting licensed everywhere is crazy for us.
Yeah,
It's crazy because some places it's cheap and then other places it's just
oh, I
insane.
know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Is there access to anything else that you can think of that you need right now? Do you need access to like our intranet for turn times, or would that be helpful? Or
Um, Possibly.
yeah, I
Or,
mean the intranet just tells you, you know, Holly posts the turn times on underwrites and all that stuff, so it kind of gives you an idea.
okay,
Might be valuable to you in terms of if a LO is
yes,
coming in and saying, "Hey, what the hell's going on with my file?"
yeah, that would be helpful.
All right, I'm gonna send you that as well right now.
And hey, Lisa, can you send Andre the link for the
Yeah,
for the processing for the submission form?
yeah, I need that.
I sure will.
And then when you get back, if you'll order that.
All right, this one's gonna come from Microsoft, so let me know if you get that one as well.
I've always used processor six. I've never
Okay, I received that one too.
All right, perfect. And that one you'll just log in with your email address and your password, I think.
Okay,
And then at the very top, you'll see this web page, and you'll see that there's a block that says current turn times. And if you click on that block, it just takes you right to our turn times page.
nope, that's not gonna let me in.
It's not letting you in.
I'm gonna have to go fix my Microsoft account.
Yeah, sometimes if you already have Office 365 and it recognizes that you have it, it'll automatically try to log in with whatever account you're logged in with.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Did you get in?
I did.
All right, perfect. Yeah, and you just click on that little square that says turn times, and basically the date that you see in there is the date of the files that they are currently working on.
Okay,
So, you know, if somebody submitted on, you know, 0603 and they're working on 0601, they haven't even looked at those files yet.
right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Right, I will
Yep.
save that also.
Awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well, you are now officially in our system. Oh, the only other thing that we need to do, JC, is we need to put their fees in there so that when, or you're going to have to go in each time, Lisa, and adjust the processing fee on the fee sheet.
Okay.
It's a, And you said you guys, your fee was $500. Was that right, Lisa?
Yeah, you're so funny.
That's cool. No, that's fine. Yeah, whoever, I don't know, however you guys want to do it, but I guess we'll make sure to let everybody know it's 850, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, the fee sheet automatically, I'm gonna look and see if there's a way to do that by putting in the different processing.
Okay.
Under the settings here. Let me see here. Yeah, I can add, yeah, so we got proficient processing in here, so I'll just add you guys as well.
Okay.
And then put your fees in there, and then they'll just pick you guys from the drop down for the processing.
Oh, fabulous.
Yep. Yeah, and then like I said, if you know, I would ask Jonah, I guess, if there is any other different, if the fee changes, like with Holly, we have different fees for non-Dell as opposed to Dell. So like for Dell, but with you guys, it would be the same anyway, because it's the processing, it's not the underwriting piece of that. But they charge us less on the processing for the delegated and for the wholesale.
Okay.
So she charges us like 900 and something for correspondent delegated, but then for the wholesale and the brokered, it's 795.
Okay.
So I don't know if we get a discount with you guys too, but you know, I figured I'd just throw that out there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to talk to Jonna with them on that whole pricing.
Yeah, just tell her, you know, because I mean, obviously, then if that's, you know, the situation, then Holly's going to be cheaper on those.
Right.
You know, we would rather just do as many of those. You know, if Dalo's doing it with you guys for other files, if they want to go non-Del, I would rather them go non-Del with you guys and everything else. Not to say I'm going to go with Holly because she's cheaper.
Okay. All right. I will talk to her about that also.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, Lisa, obviously, you know, we're here. We're resources for you. So if you have any questions or there's anything going on or you're having any issues with LOs, I'm sure JC's going to start assigning you stuff here right away.
Yep. And a bunch of, I got to talk with Jeremy too. So I'm going to, again, I'll talk to you after this call, Andre, because we're going to, I mean, again, I mean, they basically can operate in all of our states. So, I mean, obviously, you know, I don't want to overload you, Lisa, but you know, when I start talking to some of these LOs, I mean, they're going to start submitting everything over to you guys. So again, this is some more conversations that we got, Andre, because and not nothing because you, Lisa, by the way, it's just we got to figure out about this Holly situation.
Right. Yeah.
Because she's going to wonder why there's no processing going anymore over to her. So,
yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well,
Awesome. Sounds great, guys. And you know, probably what we'll do, Lisa, is, you know, I think we'll probably start you out with, you know, a couple of JC's files or one of his LO's files, just until you're totally 100% familiar with LendingPad. And then once you feel really comfortable and you're like, okay, I got this, then we'll start piling on.
okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
Cool.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, you got full access, so enjoy.
Okay, I will hop in.
Hey, I was going to tell you too, since you have access to the intranet now, if you actually go under, you'll see at the very top, there's a thing that says loan officer training in the navigation.
Okay.
And if you go to the one that says LendingPad training,
okay.
under LendingPad training, you'll see in the third column, it says processing, underwriting, and closing.
Okay.
That has all the training videos for processing too.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yep, how to request appraisal, how to request title, how to order hazard insurance, flood, all of that stuff's in there.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that is very handy.
Yep. Yeah, so you can just go through those. Each one's only about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, has title, how to run, how to request a MERS number, DU, all that good stuff.
Okay. Perfect. I will start watching those also.
Awesome. Very cool.
Okay. Awesome.
right,
Thank you,
guys.
Lisa. And
All right.
I'm probably going to submit one file over to you probably by tomorrow morning
Okay.
is what it looks like. So we'll start with that one
Sounds
and go from there. But we'll talk here soon.
Okay, sounds like a great thing.
All right.
Cool.
Hey,
Thank you,
thanks, Lisa.
gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Seb.
Let me know if you
All
need
right, bye.
anything.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.